This 1998 High Court case has become an important case confirming rules of statutory interpretation for Australia. Project Blue Sky was a New Zealand television production company who wanted access to Australian audiences back when television was still dominant. Australian law empowered the Australian Broadcasting Authority to set standards requiring a certain proportion of Australian content on television. At the same time, there was an international agreement called the Australia-New Zealand Closer Economic Relations Trade Agreement. Its effect was to open Australian markets to New Zealanders and vice versa, with very few restrictions. Project Blue Sky said that the requirement for a certain proportion of Australian content on TV breached that agreement with New Zealand. Now, the words of the Act, read on their own, made it pretty clear. The Broadcasting Authority could set minimum standards of Australian programming. End of story. But another section said the Broadcasting Authority should perform its functions in a manner consistent with any agreement between Australia and a foreign country. Did Parliament intend those general words to restrict the specific power to set minimum Australian content levels? Well, the High Court set down two important principles. First, a statute must be read as one whole harmonious document. The majority judges said, where conflict appears to arise from the language of particular provisions, the conflict must be alleviated, so far as possible, by adjusting the meaning of the competing provisions to achieve that result which will best give effect to the purpose and language of those provisions while maintaining the unity of all the statutory provisions. Second, the court distinguished between the literal or grammatical meaning of words and the legal meaning of those words. The legal meaning involves placing those words in context by considering the intention of the Parliament. The judges said, ordinarily the legal meaning will correspond with the grammatical meaning of the provision, but not always. The context of the words, the consequences of a literal or grammatical construction, the purpose of the statute, or the canons of construction may require the words of a legislative provision to be read in a way that does not correspond with the literal or grammatical meaning. The judges found that the Broadcasting Authority should have and could have taken the agreement with New Zealand into account when setting its standards, so the Australian content standard they had set was invalid.